So, on the heels of me reviewing one questionable bottle, that being Basil Hayden Toast last night, let's review another questionable bottle, that being Traveler Whiskey Full Proof Blend Number 40. Now, this is Traveler Whiskey. Yes, the original came out 2 years ago in 2024. I reviewed it, and I was not impressed with it. It got just a little bit better as it stayed open, but it was nothing that I would rebuy, and I have not bought it again since then. Now, this apparently just came out, the full proof. So the original was 90 proof. This is full proof, and the proof is 121 proof on this one. My thinking, which is something I kind of mentioned in my review of the Basil Hayden Toast, I was like saying that, man, I really think this would benefit from a higher proof. Take example the old granddad and use that as an example where maybe raising the proof would bring out more flavor. Well, we're going to put that to the test here because here's an example of a Traveler whiskey that was 90 proof that I wasn't impressed with. Let's see if the higher proof actually works. So everything is the same except the proof. So it's a Traveler, it's a blended whiskey, not a bourbon. It is a blended whiskey. Blend number 40 is the blend that they chose, and this is a collaboration between Buffalo Trace Distillery and Chris Stapleton, the country singer, and they went through a whole bunch of blends, and they agreed on this blend number 40. That was the same thing in the original. So, again, same whiskey, but this is a full proof. And just to clarify, again, because a lot of people, misinterpret this term, full proof is not a barrel strength, not a cask strength. Full proof just means that this was bottled at the same proof that this went into the barrel at. So this whiskey went into the barrel at 121 proof, and it is bottled at 121. So if this thing came out at 125 proof, then it means that it was then watered down back to its barrel entry proof of 121 proof. Whereas cask strength, barrel strength just means that it is bottled at the same proof that it comes out of the barrel at. So let's put this to the test. I'm very curious. I just saw one other video on this. It was the Fat Man, and I don't think he was impressed with it. So I have a strange feeling I won't be either, but you never know. Let's give it a test. Traveler Cork Pop. Traveler Foolproof Cork Pop. That's pretty. Okay, that was a pretty weak cork pop for 121 proof. In any event, there is one thing I did want to mention before I get into this. Here's the kicker here. This is kind of interesting, but I paid $32 for this. Right next to a 90 proof Travels that was also $32. I don't get it. This is almost the same thing I've seen with some other ones like the Sazerac, where the 100 proof was at 1 liter was the same price as the 90 proof. I don't get it. Bottom line, this was $32. Another reason it was a buy. So I figured with the extra proof, it certainly would be more expensive. Logically, it would make sense, but it doesn't. So even with the proof, still fairly medium at best color. Let's give it a nose. Now you can tell from the nose, it's a little bit more to it in terms of proof. Not necessarily any kind of a great nose on this one. No, not really much. Okay, so let's give it a taste. Cheers. Okay. There is some improvement, I think on this from my recollection of the Travels. And I think I set aside a sample of the original 90 proof, so I might compare them next to each other in another video. It's not bad. It's not bad. There's just there's so many offerings. I can't say this early. Would it be a rebuy? But I mean, let's put it this way. First of all, it's a Buffalo Trace product in collaboration with Chris Stapleton. At 121 proof, $32. I mean, it certainly was fair. I mean, of course, the benchmark full proof at 125 proof was $23, but that's neither here nor there. I will say for sure this is an improvement over the Traveler whiskey, the original one at 90 proof. That's a definite. It's really not bad. I got to be honest. This is better than I expected. Is this great? No. And with that, we'll leave it there because I'm going to get more into it. So this one clearly improved. There is an improvement from the extra proof in this compared to the regular Traveler. I'll get more into this. My opinion may change either way, better, worse, but it's not probably something just off the bat right now I'm probably going to be searching for again, in my view. But the value was decent, given also where it's from. It's not allocated, Buffalo Trace product, and it's definitely better than the original Traveler. So I'm going to leave it there and see what I think as this stays open. So my review of this one was, for me, more of a success in terms of my opinion than the one I did yesterday, the Basil Hayden toast, because it was an issue of proof. Now, just before I close, it's not that I like a high proof on everything. There are plenty of expressions where I kind of don't mind the lower proof, but those expressions seem to work. Not necessarily 80, but 90 to 100 proof or something like that, 94 proof. There's lots of them that just work. But that one, that Basil Hayden, did not at 80. And this didn't work at 90. This works better at 121 proof. So definitely an improvement. Glad I got it. And based on the last time, the Travelers got better, as a little bit better as it was open. Maybe this will too. So have a great weekend. Cheers.